Well, I'm sitting here with Michael Bergeron. I am Javen Sears, your host today. This is the Pridecast, we want to call it, I guess. We'll call it something like that. I had Michael on here because I wanted Michael to talk about some recruiting stuff. He is currently, I'll let you explain it for the people. Like, what do you do? What's your position right now? Where are you at?
So currently, I'm a Division 1 FCS football player at Delaware State University. We compete in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, which is a conference filled with HBCUs on the East Coast. I'm a long snapper on the team. I've started for the past 3 years, and this year I'll be graduating with my degree in business management. And next year I'll be getting a master's of sports administration at Delaware State University.
I think it was like 3 weeks ago. I was when we came over to Renee's here, and like I was asking you, you told me about how the kids that are graduating or who are the kids who are going to college right now, they got like 3 4 years to play. And you said by the time that you're done playing, even though you played 3 years, you said you still got 3 more years to go. How wait, could you explain that? Like how did you get that? That sounds
So
crazy to me.
So basically, when I was a senior in high school, I was graduating the spring of 2020, and obviously everyone knows the COVID-19 pandemic happened, and
Crazy.
since that happened in the fall of 2020, uh, the majority of football seasons were canceled, and the NCAA made a rule that all people that were in college athletics at that time that could be a COVID year. So it didn't start for me, it didn't start my eligibility. And my
Right.
clock didn't start till the fall of 2021. So that was last year. So that was my first year, second year of college. Then this past fall, uh, due to some injuries and getting COVID myself, I redshirted. So I've done 3 years of college and I still have three to play.
We're gonna get into like how you kind of got to that college in the first place, but before we even do that, I wanted to like go back, bring it back to the Dolphin stage, because this is a Dolphin South Burlington Dolphin podcast, and I don't know exactly what years you started, but I know when I was there because we're the same class. I started in 2012. Were you there before then? Like, what are your years as Dolphins?
Yeah, I was there before then. I probably started in either 2007 or 2008.
Oh
My
my
first year
gosh.
playing was in kindergarten, and they let me play a year early because my brother was already in the program, and I was a little bigger, for my age. But when I was in kindergarten, I didn't really want to do it, and for some reason, I just wasn't into it. I didn't really know what football was, and I ended up quitting like a few weeks into the season. But then when first grade and everyone like my age was playing, I had all my friends there. I kept playing and I loved it. So yeah, I've been,
Right.
playing since kindergarten, first grade, and it's been a fun time. But I started out when I was on the Dolphins and flag. I never played. I played wide receiver, running back, and then when I got to fifth and sixth grade, there's the weight limit. I was over the weight limit, so
Me
they
too.
played me at center. I remember me and you were the centers in fifth grade.
Yeah. I was a center. I don't even remember. I was playing like right guard and left tackle. Like I was doing some weird
So
stuff.
they put me at center, and I just started doing that. And in Dolphins, we always ran shotgun, so
Right.
I really got used to that motion of snapping the ball, and I think that's really what helped me later on when I started picking up long snapping.
Right. So that's how you became the center. Like, because I didn't make it. You were way better than me at it. I was just like backup for you probably. The weight limit actually has changed recently. Like the weight limit is even like 10 pounds more than when we were playing. So I could have been playing like tight end. So what got you into like long snapping then? And because I know you were center. You were still playing center in high school, but like when did like long snapping kind of come into play for you?
Well, so I like this story because it kind of shows what's going on at the high school right now and shows the benefits of it. So when I was a freshman and sophomore, um, I was on the varsity team, and I was like a third string center. I'd be like a backup guard when I was a freshman and sophomore on the varsity team, but I only played defense. They used me for linebacker.
Right.
And when I was going to my junior year, and we combined with Burlington High School, I ended up not playing defense anymore, and I was only the center.
Ah,
They needed a long snapper, and basically what they told me was that, we're not gonna do all these substitutions on special teams. You're just gonna be our long snapper. And at first, I was so pissed. I talked to the coaches. I was fighting against it. I said, I don't want to do this. I've never done it. We can just have someone else do it. But they were, the Burlington coaches. They were set. They really
oh, this is
wanted.
this was like 2018. So when we were
Yeah, this was
juniors.
this was the fall of 2018, and they were set on me doing it. There was no budging. So they taught me, the basics of it, and I just started practicing it every day. And we actually, when we were there, we only do 10 yards back. So, doing it at 10 yards at first is hard, but, now looking at it, it's like, wow.
Oh, yeah. What's
Yeah,
college? 18?
15.
15. Okay.
But so I just kept doing it and doing it. And I have a lot of one-on-one time, snapping and all that. And Coach Doug Belisle,
Right.
was our line coach that year. He knew I wanted to play college football. So he asked me, have you ever thought about going to college to long snap? And I was like, well, what do you mean? I didn't know that was a thing. I just thought, you had to go. I never thought that was
Right.
even a thing in college. I guess for some reason it just went out of my mind that someone has to do it. I said,
Right.
I never thought of that. And he said, well, if you want to play college football, that's a great opportunity. Coaches love looking at that. So
Right.
that, incentivized it for me to want to get better at it. And he told me, I knew I probably wasn't that good, but he told me I was pretty good. So, it motivated me to keep working at it. And, in the end, it paid off.
Wow. I remember back then you wanted to play basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And you were like, I mean, I totally forgot. You were nicknamed the Orange Mamba, which suits
Yeah.
perfectly with our black and orange. How long did that take to like really like make you think like, oh, maybe I should do long snapping for real, like compared to like basketball? Why did basketball kind of fall out and football take its place?
Well, honestly, really what it was is that, when I was probably like a sophomore in high school, I really realized that my size wasn't going to be what it takes to make it at the college basketball level. And in the spring of my sophomore year, I started looking into how to get recruited for football. I looked up online how to get recruited for college football. I looked at the rosters and kids weren't that big a size, So I thought I could definitely do it. I'm a pretty good player.
Right.
So that's what I was doing. And up until I think the whole time of the junior season that fall for football, I was not even thinking about being a long snapper. I was emailing coaches. I was finally getting the hang of it. Coaches reaching out to me to play linebacker, O-line. And, I was feeling pretty confident with that. And what really, really changed it was sometime in October, I took a visit to Curry College. It's a D3 school
Mm.
in Massachusetts. And I went there. And, at that point, I was really starting to consider long snapping. That week, I had an email with a D2 coach just to long snap. And, for me at that time, I was like, wow,
Oh,
D2, like, that's really good, for someone from Vermont.
right.
So at that point in time, I was like, maybe I'm going to go down here. I'm going to tell the coaches I'm also a long snapper as well. And so, we go down there, we tour the school, we meet with the coaches, and they have us
Mm.
introduce, who our name, our high school we're from, what positions. And I say long snapper. And when I said that, all the coaches' faces lit up. And I was
Oh,
like, oh, that's I thought that was kind of weird. Like, why do they get so excited when I said that? So I'm pretty sure our season ended. And after our season ended, I went down to American International College. They're a D2 school in Massachusetts.
mhm.
And I mean, their coaching staff, they probably had the nicest, most welcoming coaching staff. They really, really cared for me throughout the recruiting process.
What they do?
And I mean, just like they showed me so much attention when I went down there. Like their head coach talked to me, and my mom, personally, their coach was always texting me, all that stuff. And that's when I realized, like, wow, I could just be a long snapper, and I'm getting a lot of attention, um, like talking to you about the future, being on their team. And that's really when it clicked for me, like, this is something I can do. And it gave me the confidence to reach out to, more schools, Division II, Division I. and that's really how I found out that that could be something I can pursue.
Well, Mike, I actually got a list here. I'm just gonna read it out real quick, and then you let me know what you think about it. So, I got St. Anselm College, Merrimack College, Pace University, Trinity College, Stonehill College, American International College, Bryant University, Brown University, Marist College, Sacred Heart University, UConn, Franklin Pierce University, Assumption University, Stony Brook University, and University of New Haven. Do those sound familiar to you at all?
Yeah, those are all the schools I went on visits to.
I went on your Twitter and I just was like, let me just do some homework, and I was just scrolling through and I just seen pictures. This man Mike just added every single college I could like see in the New England area. It's just like every last one. How were you at so many of them? And like, is that normal? And talk about that a little bit. Like that's a lot of colleges to hit. Like why did you do that? Why'd you go about that?
So I'll answer this in two answers. Part of it I'll go over like the recruiting process, and part of it I'll explain like why I did it. So
Gotcha.
in the recruiting process, really it starts the fall of your junior year. I was a little late to get started, but it turned out just fine for me. So really the fall of your junior year, and leading into that, the summer of going into your junior year, you want to get out to camps, show your face at colleges. You might not have to be in contact with coaches. That's a great time to go out and, go to their camp, show you're interested, so they can put a name to a face. And your junior year, your junior fall season really should be focused on honing in your skills. You're getting good film, getting quality, reps in the games. And really at the end of that, you want to start preparing, the list of what colleges you're interested in and what college are interested in you. Because after that season in the winter, it's called junior days that happen in the spring of your junior year. And a lot of those visits that are on my Twitter were junior days.
Gotcha.
Basically what that is what the colleges will bring in their prospective junior recruits for a day in the spring. You'll see, tour the campus, meet the coaches, see a spring practice or the spring game. And that's really a big step in recruiting because it shows those coaches that you're truly interested in their school and program. And again, it's another time to meet them, talk to them. Excuse me. And that's one of the biggest things I noticed is that they want to see you make the effort to go to their school and their campus, because
Right.
all those visits, the schools can't pay for that. All of those visits you have to pay for out of your own pocket. So it shows that, you're really interested in those schools. And then some of the other visits were in the summer where a lot of the schools will want to see you compete at their camp, or if they're at another camp, they'll want to see you compete in person. They'll want to see how you run, see how you jump, see your agility. For me, it was my snapping skills. Other people might be how they throw the ball, how they get down in their stance, how they pass block, all that stuff they want to at least evaluate in person, because some stuff can't be seen or demonstrated on film. And then in
Right.
the fall of your senior year, you want to take game day visits. Some of those could be done in the fall of your junior year if you already have connections with coaches, but it's not necessary. In the fall of your senior year, though, game day visits are really important because they want to get the recruits on campus that they're serious about and that they're going to plan to bring in for official visits, which happens in the winter.
After
Right
after
now,
your senior year.
yeah, right now at Delaware State, every weekend in January, they're having official visits with guys that they're planning to offer, thinking about offering, or have already committed. And really, the official visits are, what make it like a serious interest. Usually, they really want you. And so for me, I actually only took one official visit, and it was at Delaware State.
Ah,
So
okay.
what happened was it was uh, 3 weeks before signing day.
Okay.
So I had 3 weekends before signing day, and I was trying to get my official visit set up. So what my plan was that I was going to go to Maine, University of Maine, 2 weekends before the official signing day, and plan to do another one the weekend before the national signing day.
Oh,
But what
okay.
happened was that Delaware State, they called me the week before my University of Maine visit and said, hey,
Yeah.
we're bringing all our scholarship guys are going to put on scholarship this weekend. We really want you there. We're going to offer you. What do you think? And I said, I didn't tell them I had another visit because, I told them, what about the next week? And they said, no, we need you there this weekend. So, I called University of Maine and I said, I'm gonna have to push it to the next weekend. So,
Oh,
so I
oops.
went to Delaware State University's official visit 2 weekends before signing day. And my plan was on the way back, I was gonna do like just a day official visit at Wagner College on my way back home. But so I went down to the school for the official visit, and I ended
Yep.
up committing. But the crazy part about that is on the way back, before I
Yep.
announced I was committed or anything, I got a call from the University of Maine, and they had a long snapper there that weekend. We were supposed to both be there at the same time. And the coach called me, and I was like, "Oh shoot, he's calling me. I wonder if it's about like next week, and I'm gonna have to tell him I'm already committed." So,
Right.
so I answered it. I'm like, "Hey, coach," and I just told him right away, and he said, "Oh," he's like, "All right, well, good luck." Something like that. And I was just like, dang, what if he was telling me that, they were going to cancel my official visit because the other guy already committed. So in the end,
Right.
it worked out.
Wow, that's so crazy. Do you just feel like Delaware State was giving you more of an opportunity, or they were more like interested in you compared to UMaine?
Well, yeah. So like the University of Maine, I never visited there. I never even met their
Mhm.
coaches in person. And when
Oh,
I had conversations with them, it was clear, they told me, hey, we want you to be on our team, but, as of right now, you're going to be our third string long snapper. You're going to be a preferred walk on. And a preferred walk on basically means
mhm.
that, you have a guaranteed roster spot, but you're just not on scholarship. And they
Yep.
told me, we're not sure we can guarantee you'll ever see the field. We're not sure we can guarantee you a scholarship, but, we want you in our program. But at Delaware
Uh,
State University, they gave me an athletic scholarship, and they told me, right when they were recruiting me, that I'm going to be their guy. Like they're bringing me
wow.
in, start right away, and to play. And they I had to do a lot of work to get to that point, but it all worked out.
I just want to emphasize this how the list of people that have gone D1 in any sport for the state of Vermont is like a very small list. And especially football, like I don't even know how many people, someone will have to do the back check that for me. But to hear that like you're gonna go D1 and you're gonna be the starter as a freshman, basically, how did you feel about that? Were you ready for it? Were you surprised?
I mean, like when they were recruiting me, I was thinking to myself, that's what I'm preparing for. That's what I want.
Mm,
And, it really, honestly, I'm thankful that COVID happened because it really prepared me to be successful at this level because I spent all that spring, all that summer before I went to school just snapping and preparing. And even then, when I got to the campus, we didn't have that fall season. Still wasn't even ready until that spring because it really took a while to get to the division. Like it's different. Like the speed of
right.
the game is way different. You have to be fast, consistent. You really can't make errors. So you have to rep it over and over and over again. But
Wow.
I knew what they saw in me and what they expected out of me. So I knew I had to work every day to keep that up because at Division 1 level, if you don't meet the expectations, you know,
Yep.
there's no
It's rad.
guarantee they're gonna keep you around.
Yeah, yeah, they could get you out of there real quick. Why do you think recruitment is so important?
It's really important. It's really what I would sum up as marketing yourself. It's like really, I would just say it's like getting a job because sometimes if you have a resume on the internet, sometimes employers might reach out to you, say, hey, are you interested in this job? Oh, we like what we see. But if you want that, the big ticket job or you want the dream job, you got to go out and get it yourself. You got to email the
Facts.
boss, reach out to the company, apply. And that's really how I view recruiting is that if you don't go get it yourself, it's not going to happen for you, especially coming from a state from Vermont, because how I explain it is, why would a college, want to go get someone from Vermont when they can get a lot of this similar skill, size right down the street, right in their backyard? and
Right.
save the money and resources. You have to put yourself that much above your competition to make it to the high level. And that goes for any level of college. You have to make yourself that much better than everyone else, because if you don't, they're gonna do the same.
What are your 5 steps that you'd recommend to young athletes today to get recruited?
Well, so the first thing they really got to do is day one of high school, freshman year, you have to get the best grades possible. The
Mm.
best grades you can possibly get, you have to do it. Because
Why?
if you don't have the grades, the colleges can't do anything with you. So, for example, like in my situation, I'm lucky enough to be on full scholarship, but that's not a full athletic scholarship. I'm on a half athletic scholarship and half academic scholarship.
Right.
So it saves the school money where they don't have to spend a full athletic scholarship on me. And then it also saves myself money because I don't have to, pay for school.
Oof.
And, really that's the biggest thing. And that starts before you can even talk to colleges, just getting your academics right. Because if you don't have that, it really hurts your chances, because number one, having high academics shows that, you're mature, you can have a higher chance of being successful in this environment, because it's a lot of work when you're here, and academics can really slip through if you're not committed to it.
Right.
The second step that I would say is make sure you're in shape, and make sure you're consistently trying to eat healthy and working out on a consistent basis. You don't have to be
Mm.
the strongest guy around, but just make sure that you're doing what you can to lift. That's really a lot of it, because the biggest thing I've noticed is that there's a lot of guys in the state of Vermont who are skilled, who are fast, but when you take them out of that situation, they just don't have the strength, as a lot of the guys outside of the state. That's really the one thing I noticed. It's not really the ability, it's
Mm.
more of the physical, like the strength, the speed, the jumping. So always working on that is really important. Second, or third, would be marketing yourself. Once it's time to start talking to coaches, getting a Twitter, emailing. I mean, I'll be honest, I sent probably 15 to 20 emails a day,
Woo.
probably from when I started in the fall, end of my junior season, right up until I was committed. I'd probably send 15 to 20 emails a day, Monday through Friday, to college coaches.
What would you say? What
Yeah,
would
I sent hundreds of emails,
what
and
would you say? And like, would you just be
it
like,
would just
"Hey, I'm
be
just
introducing myself, telling them like my name, where I'm from, my position, like for me, it was my snap time,
mm,
adding what I wanted to study, asking if they had any chance for visits, stuff like that. And I would send it, I'd go on the online and I would just find all the coaches' emails, find if they had Twitters, follow them, all of that, just to try to get in their faces. Because what I'll say is also a lot of recruiting is luck. And
mm,
a lot of people say that a lot of it is just luck. You happen to be the one that is at the top of the coach's inbox when he goes in the morning to check his emails. Because if he's looking for a long snapper, he goes in the office, he opens up his email, sees, oh, a long snapper recruit. He opens it up, he likes what he sees. He might not scroll through the rest of his emails, and your email is gone.
right.
A lot of it really is luck. The number four,
Wow.
I would say, I would wait for a response. Sometimes, most of the time, they didn't respond. If I sent 15 to 20 emails a day, I'd be
Yeah.
happy with 2 responses.
Right. That's like selling.
One
That's
to
like
two
literally like selling.
responses will make me happy. And I would say to myself, well, you know what? If I would send like all D1 coaches emails, and the next day might be a mix of D1, D2, and like
Yeah.
D2, D3. And I sent it to coaches of all divisions. I probably sent an email to every Division 1 school, every Division 2 school, and probably all the D3 schools on the East Coast. My film.
Just
And it wasn't just one time. I had a process where I would send emails about once every 2 months, where I would So after I sent my initial email to them for the first time, I would add stuff saying, "Oh, I just did this in the weight room," or "I just did this achievement," something like that, and send another email. And what I would do if I didn't hear a response the first time, the next week on the same day, I'd send a follow up, and then the next week, so 3 weeks or 2 weeks later,
Yeah.
I'd say, "Oh, um, like this will be the last time reaching out until I update you again." So I would send basically 3 emails in 3 weeks to the same coach, and wait a month or two, and then send it all again.
Wow.
I
Wow.
just kept doing it over and over until I had communication with a lot of these coaches.
And a lot of them reached out back to you. Were there a lot that also didn't?
Yeah, there was the majority didn't reach back out to me, honestly. Like I was probably, I mean, you got to think about it. There's about 250 Division I football schools. I was probably only ever talking to 15 to 20 of them. A lot of it is luck.
So you've been through 3 years then of college football now. Like, what have you learned from it? What are some things like what has college football done for me for you, or maybe just even being in college?
Well, honestly, the biggest thing I've learned is probably just, time management
Mm,
and how, and at least for me, the school I attend is how to adapt in, um, different situations. But the time management is really one thing I think I'll take away from this is just because, I'm graduating in 3 years uh, with my bachelor's degree, so a year early. Um, I've played football this whole time, so that's really the biggest thing.
wow. And so what do you do on like a day-to-day basis? I guess like what's give us like one day from morning to night of what you do, like maybe on like a weekday.
So right now we're in spring ball, so it's a little different than what our in-season schedule is.
Hmm.
So right now, Monday, Wednesday, well, so Monday through Friday, we'll have stuff. On my Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are all the same. So my Monday will be I wake up at 7 a.m.
Yep.
I'll go get breakfast. Then I have lift at 8 a.m. and that lasts an hour. 9 a.m. I'll go to the training room, get treatment for whatever I'm feeling. Sometimes like a little sore. Get like massages, ultrasound, heat, do some like strengthening stuff.
Mm.
After that, I'll go back to my room, take a shower, rest for a little bit. Then I'll have class from 12 to 2. Then I'll get lunch after that, and then my day's done. So I'll just rest, do some homework. Uh, Maybe I'll go to the field, snap. On Tuesdays, though, right now
Hmm.
during spring ball, is a little bit more. We have
Oh,
6 a.m. conditioning on the field.
he's got to wake up at 5.
So this past Thursday at our thing, we had our conditioning was
Oh,
we had five
oh,
20-yard sprints, five 25-yard sprints, five 30-yard sprints, five 35-yard sprints, five 40-yard sprints. And then after that, we had 15 110s. And then we did a push-up circuit.
no way.
Yeah, we did all that in an hour.
In and out. Talk about
Yeah.
time management. I remember when we had the freshman year, um, and we had to do like 16 100s. And
Mm.
I know we were all so nervous. We were like dead, like scared of it. And then all of a sudden, before we started doing the conditioning, I think it was Coach Mack or someone was like, Javen and Tobias, you guys cannot practice today because we didn't have like or something was wrong with our physicals or something. Like our physicals weren't in, but I was sure mine was in. I knew mine was in. I don't know what happened, but I didn't have to do it, and I just got to watch y'all die.
On Tuesday, we have the 6 a.m. conditioning. Then at 7 a.m., I'll go to the training room, get some treatment. After that, I'll go get breakfast. Then I have downtime, just to relax, do some homework. After that, I go get lunch at around 12:15. Then we have a lift at 1 p.m. That goes till for an hour till 2, and then after that, I'm done for the day. Can just do what I want.
Gotcha. So it all depends on the day and stuff like that.
Yeah, right
Yeah.
now.
You've played football for almost 12 years or 14 years, 14 years, 15 now. Um, why do you think young kids should play football in general? And maybe some things that you took away, but like what's so important about football and like why should more kids be playing?
I really think that kids should be playing just because of the stuff that it teaches you. It really teaches you, to work hard, to have pride in the things you do, to look out, for your friends, just stuff like that. It really, I don't think it can be taught. It can be taught, through other sports, other ways, but I don't think it comes across the same unless you're really playing football. Just it's really different.
I wanted to ask you this a long time ago. What are some of your only in game? What are some of your favorite in game moments going back to Dolphins days? Like way back when you were just a kid, we didn't have nothing to worry about. No, we didn't have to worry about having the right grades really at all. Like something like having in game, some of your favorite stories back then.
Oh,
Anything that comes to mind. I can go off one. I can actually name the first one that involved you. One of my first. This is
I
like
already
one
know
of
what
my.
you're about to say.
Yeah, you know exactly what I'm saying. This is one of my first touchdown in football. Period. Was thanks to this man right here. It was sixth grade, and we were playing Chittenden East, of course, at Chittenden East, and someone got like a sack. I don't know if you got the sack, and I'm playing D end, right? So someone got a sack, but it's a fumble sack. So the ball is on the ground. I'm coming around the corner, and all of a sudden, I see like Michael on the ground. You're like kicking the ball. You like kick the ball, and I'm coming and I pick that thing up and I score a whole touchdown. But I wouldn't have scored it if you didn't kick it backwards because there's a guy right behind me. Um, that's probably one of my favorite stories, like playing Dolphins ever. Was that you gave me my first touchdown?
Oh, I just thought of one. So actually, I remember this one. It was you can go check the film too on this to make sure I'm
This is
telling the
exactly
accurate.
why I'm asking.
So you go check the film. I'll tell you, sixth grade, Colchester, the score is 6-6. They're returning a punt, and all I remember is that I was hanging back, and the kid was way faster than me, and he juked me. I mean, I was left in my tracks, like he juked me, but I stuck my arm out and I stripped the ball. I
Oh,
stripped the ball, and we recovered it, and they didn't score, and it was a tie game at the end.
oh my God, I don't remember that.
Probably some of my favorite moments are probably from the eighth grade season. I mean,
Uh,
there was a lot of fun plays from there, and stuff. I can't really remember them off the top of my head, but just that team. That was probably the most fun I ever had in a football season was that year. I
yeah.
mean, we won games by a lot of points and we lost games by a lot of points, but we had fun.
Oh man, that year it's something that just never leaves you. It never does. That's definitely my favorite season ever playing football, ever maybe even in life. Just like that year and what we did in the playoffs was just so like where we started and where we ended. It was just like it was like you couldn't believe what was happening. It was very inspirational and like it will always stick with me. Yeah, why do you think that year kind of like stood out above all for you?
I really felt like at least, for the people that were on our team, it was really a year that, we really took a step as athletes. And I think all of us can say we really matured from the end of our seventh grade year to the end of our football season in eighth grade. Like we really, I feel like matured as teenagers, I'd say, or pre-teenagers,
Right. You know
because
what? Yeah, yeah.
we went there on our own, during the summer. No one had to tell us to do it. We really bought in. And for a lot of, people that age, it's hard to see the bigger picture. And I think everyone on our team saw what we were working towards, what our end goal was. And that stuff, you might not even see it at the college or high school level teams with that
Ab-
kind of mindset.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And from day one, our goal was to win the state title. And
Hmm.
we were this close. we were this close. I mean, to just going on to the final game, but I knew after that semi-final game, oh man, that just burns. But I mean, I remember in the off season when we were going to people's houses, all four of us. I don't know if you remember this. We didn't have enough bikes, but we would run and bike all the way down the street over here to go get some kids to come play. I'm not gonna name, but we went all the way down there and doing a whole bunch of stuff trying to get kids. And and like we were dedicated. It was
We
one
sold
thing led to
raffle
another.
tickets
Oh yeah, we sold hundreds of raffle tickets at Dunkin' Donuts.
with the
So we
cart through the parking lot.
we did everything. And I we got our jerseys. I don't know. You got yours? I got my
Yeah,
jersey.
I got the football, the jersey. Can we go back some more best moments?
Go ahead. Go ahead. You thought of one?
Yeah, I have some from high school. So for high school, I'm trying to think
Oh.
of one from each year. My freshman year probably would be like my first tackle I made on varsity. I remember it was against Colchester, and it was just a straight ISO up the middle. I was right there, and I just dove at him, and I made the tackle. And everyone was cheering. I was like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "This is crazy! Like this isn't Dolphins."
Wait. Freshman year varsity, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, yeah.
Then sophomore year, probably, it wasn't a great season, but my favorite moment was probably beating Essex in our first game. Because at that point, we were now on a 2-game win streak, and I really thought like, oh, we're changing this program. I was really happy with all the work we put in. I really was proud.
Yeah.
Then probably from our junior year,
Hey,
I
what
think
year?
everyone can say this: beating Rutland last week of the season to go into
Ah,
the playoffs, the 1 yard goal line stand. I mean, that was the craziest game I ever played in to this
and
day.
we would have like had a tie if we didn't score right there, or we would have lost. We would have lost if we didn't score
Well,
right there, or
yeah, we
something.
would have lost. Well, so it was we were up 30, 34, 28, but if they would have
Mhm.
scored, they would have had a chance at the PAT to win.
Well, right, and but they missed the PAT though.
Or we missed the PAT.
Oh, that's why it
Like
was.
we scored on our first play and we missed the PAT,
Gotcha.
and
Oh,
all they had
that's
to do was score and hit the PAT to win, but we stopped them from scoring
right on the
on
last
fourth
fourth
down
down
on
on
the
like
one
two
yard
yard line.
line. Two, yeah, man.
Which
That was probably the craziest game I ever played in. I mean, that was to
same.
make the playoffs. They were the number one team in the state at the time. I mean, that was just insane.
And what happened that game? I mean, yeah, it was just crazy, everything. And then we had to play them again next week, and we lost. But anyways,
Then probably
anyways, it was fun.
from our senior year, I probably had two favorite moments from that season. The first one was in our scrimmages against BFA St. Albans and Essex.
Oh,
That was probably
yeah.
the time I felt like as a group we were the most dominant ever. I mean, I felt like that day in those scrimmages, you could put us against any team in the world, and we would have played with them. I mean, I don't think we let up
We were
one
on high.
touchdown. I don't think we let up more than 2 yards on any play of like defense. We were
That'd be true.
scoring. I mean, we were dominant. I don't know what happened after that, but
Yo, yeah, I was gonna
we
say
we
senior
beat
year,
those
our
teams pretty
team.
bad that day.
It was our year was actually we thought we were gonna be really good, and then we had the talent too, though. Like we did, we kind of had something going.
Then my second favorite moment from that year was 2 games when we beat North Country, and we thought it was our last game we were ever going to play. So
Right,
we were going crazy, like we were going absolutely insane because we thought we were going to have a game afterwards because two of the teams forfeited. We didn't know we were going to play,
right.
and so we thought it was our last game. And then come to
Yep.
find out, we play CVU. Well, we play CVU next week, and I mean, we really
Yeah.
beat them up good,
And then
35-7.
and Ronnie was right there. I remember Ronnie. He was so
I think he
happy.
had like 155 yards and two
Three
touchdowns,
three
three
touchdowns.
touchdowns.
Let's
I mean,
Ronnie, shout out Ronnie. We need Ronnie on the pod. This man Ronnie is just, oh my God. I remember all year he was saying he wanted to be the running back, running back, running back, and he was hurt and he still went out there and I remember the play. I don't know what it was. I think it was sweep to the right or something. And you were just somehow, I don't know, you were all the way at the safety level and he was right behind you still. You're playing center and somehow you're lead blocking. So I don't know how that happened, but uh like how did what I don't get that thinking about that. But yeah, senior year was crazy. I mean, I remember that North Country game. That was one of my favorite games too. Yeah. That
Then probably if I go, my 3 years of college, probably my favorite play for my freshman year of college was just
mhm.
like, my first snap, that I did, that I played. And I
You
was
did
so
convert.
nervous.
Oh yeah.
Then probably for my second year, the first full season, when I had a tackle, I had I think three tackles my that year, but it was our last game, and I had a really nice solo tackle against the first team all conference returner on punt,
Wow. Oh, what team?
and then North Carolina Central. And then this past year, probably my favorite moment was my first game back from being out for like five weeks. We were playing South Carolina State down in South Carolina, and they beat us 3 times in 2 years. And we really wanted this one. And it was my first game back. We went to overtime, and I snapped the game-winning field goal to win the game. I mean, that was crazy. I mean, we wanted to beat them so bad. We lost them 3 times in a row. We finally did it. I mean, that game was crazy.
And while that game was going on, quick story time. I'm sitting over here at the office, right, with Coach Renee and Linda, his wife, and we're watching the game, right? Literally every 2 minutes or so, we're watching your game. Every 2 minutes or so, the screen would just cut out. The game would stop. We would have to plug in everything again. It let it go. Another 2 minutes going by. And then all of a sudden, during the fourth quarter, it was good. It was good. It was perfectly clear. And I'm like, yo, they're getting lined up to kick this field goal for the win or something like that at the end of the fourth quarter. And then all of a sudden, cuts out right before the kick. You lined up in everything. We couldn't even see the dang kick. And then I'm like, a couple minutes later, I check on my phone. I see that it goes to overtime, and we're still trying to get it up, but it wasn't working. And then we finally get it up, and it's like the post game, like people talking, like after the game was over. We had no idea who won, but I'm glad y'all won that in the end. Right? Yeah, y'all won it.
Yeah, we won that
Okay.
one.
So what's the future ahead for Michael Bergeron?
Oh, well, so right now I'm trying to finish up. That's my last semester of my bachelor's degree, and next year I'm planning to get my master's in sports administration from Delaware State University. Then after that, I'm gonna plan to get a master's in education. That'll probably be a 2 year program, and that should finish up my eligibility. I'm gonna try what I can to make it to the next level. I'm gonna do everything in my power to get those opportunities. If it doesn't work out, I either want to go into, I'm not really sure what I want to do, but I either want to go into coaching football at the college level or the high school level. If I do coach at the high school level, I want to be a teacher or an administrator. And if none of that works out, I do see myself working in like a college athletic department, either working in like compliance, AD, something like that.
Well, if anyone watching this right now needs somebody like that, everybody right here, Michael Bergeron himself, guys. All right, I got one last question for you. This might be a hard one. Can you define pride for me and the meaning behind it, what it means to you?
Well, the technical meaning is personal responsibility for individual daily effort. But what it means for me is, every day giving it your all in whatever you have to do. Because at the end of the day, what you accomplish and what you do is going to have your name behind it. And it's your choice to either have that, have this behind your name be good or bad. That's really what it means to me.
Well, I like how you summed that up. I totally agree. And thank you for coming on and for the pod of Pridecast. We may whoever see what the name is. And we wish you the best of luck here at the Dolphins. And I think everybody watching, to keep doing your thing and the whole stays watching you. And we can't wait to see what's next for you and your journey. And hopefully we get to see you play this fall. So I'll try to come to one of your games and stuff like that. But keep on grinding every day, man. You know, we believe. We believe.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hell yeah. And we might have to do one of these in the future too. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right, Mike. Signing off. Any last words for the people at home?
Not really. Not really, honestly.
No. All right, we're signing off out of here. We out. All right.